Hi, I'm Yapped, and this is Yoked.
I'd like to see your mouth do something else, though.
This mouth does his dog shit.
This is Yapped, and that's Yoked. I'm Yapped. You're Yoked. You're Yapped. She's a Yap. I'm a Yoked.
You had two parents that loved you growing up.
I tricked her into marrying me.
I'm mic'd up, so anything stupid I say goes on the internet. I need attention or I'll die.
The codependent fuck.
And we're here.
We here, baby.
Yet again. 1 second. Yeah, cool. We good.
Yeah, we better be good, because I'm not doing this again, bitch.
What, you didn't like having to piece together 2 separate episodes for a 4th week in a row?
No. It's not my favorite part of my job.
No, it's my least favorite part of mine, actually.
You don't do that job.
Re-recording episodes
That's valid.
that we do.
But it's always your fault, so.
I know, but I think we got
Price we pay.
I think we got it this time. We got it this time. Yeah, frustration and agony.
That's why you married me.
That wasn't my vows.
Probably. We're getting married today.
We are getting married today.
That's crazy.
How many times is it now?
I don't know. I lost count.
I'm game. It always comes with good food usually, so at least there's that.
There's no food.
Well, I can make there be good food.
I'm so sick of you.
All right, well, let's get to it. Another episode of Yapped and Yoked here for you. What's our topic today?
You already know the topic. Why don't you say it? Loser.
The ideation of bodybuilding.
Yep.
And I'd like to come at this from 2 different angles. The angle of like what people are probably seeing, perceiving, and then the harsh reality that they have to face.
Yep.
But also the angle of like pure curiosity, because I think my client Sam asked me that question, puts it into perspective how little people still know.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what's your first take at it?
Well, this kind of transpired because I was realizing that there's a handful of people that we know, whether they be clients of ours, clients of really good friends of ours, posing clients, people we have insight into. And my perspective, first off, not all of these people, is that they're bodybuilding for the wrong reasons. And I think a lot of that stems from how shiny social media makes bodybuilding. Yeah. I think on the female side, and you can certainly attest to the male side, girls scroll. I mean, now more than ever, you're scrolling on TikTok Saturday morning, and you see the show day transformation makeup and the suit reveal and the shiny thing and the carb up, and you're like,
and the transformation and the amount of food that they're eating now.
And you're like, this is so cool. Mm-hmm. And like, when I got into bodybuilding, this is just personal, it was because a couple of people at my gym had asked me if I was in a prep. I had no idea what that meant. And I was going to Attilas of Wildwood at the time. And that was a bodybuilding gym, or I had just moved to that area when I was starting to get these questions at the previous gym I was at. And the owner of Attilas was a really great guy, Chris. I love him to death. And his wife was gunning at that point for her pro card. She was the first pro I ever met, and like we talked about a couple episodes ago, you didn't meet pros.
Not often. No.
Not often. And so it was like celeb to me to like even just see her in the gym on a Saturday, because she worked like a normal 9 to 5. She was not a personal trainer. She was in liquor distribution, and it was so cool. I was like, this is so cool. And so he was like, yeah, I'll like connect you with her coach. And it felt like this like underground connection, and like, you know, like it was like this thing that I wasn't finding on social media. I wasn't on that part of the algorithm. I was just a girl with a corporate job, basically. And for me, there was no glitz glam or like, oh, the shiny pretty thing. I got into it because it was like, well, if people think I can do it, that's kind of cool. And I know that you had a similar story, but I think nowadays, more than ever, and this is exposure in anything, right? Like we've talked about this in other episodes, I can come up with 5,000 hobbies I want in a single year, because every time I scroll, I'm like, well, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
And that's why pursuit of things is so minimal, because it's like, well, let's be realistic. How many of the 5,000 things a day I see on social media am I going to actually pursue? But has social media brought me to pursuing things I may not have? Sure. I started learning sign language. I do a bunch of random shit that like I would never have known about. But when you commit to something like bodybuilding, and this was a discrepancy conversation we had at dinner last night, it's an extreme sport.
Yes.
I'm not jumping out of a fucking airplane, but like...
For 6 to 12 weeks out of the year, your body's not doing so hot.
And aside that, to be good at it, it's a 24-hour-a-day endeavor. 365, just about.
Yep.
Give or take a week vacation, a family trip, or whatever. But like, how many family vacations have I been on where I'm sitting at dinner with your family with a food scale, not eating off the menu, Tupperware in purse?
Me at my brother's wedding with a freezer bag full of food.
Me and Connor, I have the video, and if I can find it, I'll overlay it. Straight up, I was melting the butter on Connor's sourdough with a blow dryer in the hotel room.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And that's the difference on male and female preps, because I've never seen butter in a... Well,
There was just one time. That was a lot of butter.
God, it sounds like I had like a binging episode on a stick of butter, but
Yeah,
it's way
I
worse
just
than that.
caught her in the pantry gnawing on a stick of butter.
Honestly, if I was going to binge, it would not be butter. But...
Here we are.
You know, you ever see one of those posts on Instagram that's like, damn, nobody talks about how hard butter and bread hits? Like, that's so real.
I know. I tell you this all the time. That was Mima's signature dish, that and French toast. But the French toast was mainly just bread and butter, but with cinnamon and sugar.
All my 4 favorite things.
The 4 food groups. But
And
yes,
coffee.
I think what people can take away from that story, though, is the fact that
I was super jacked, and people were like, damn, that bitch is super jacked.
honestly, that is pretty much what I was going to say, but not in those words. To the point being, you were already doing all the work necessary to build your body in a direction you wanted to go.
Sure.
People then just noticed you could be a competitive bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So you took the hard work you were already doing that you were familiar with and then just applied it more specifically.
For sure.
Now people are like, I just signed up at Planet Fitness. I'm going to be a bodybuilder. And it's like, how about you just go learn how to lift some weights for a couple of years and don't label it anything?
Yeah.
For the vast majority, that is the case.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of that coin, there are still people out there who just don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. Like my client, Sam.
Yeah.
And 19, 20-year-old kid, just loving training, loving programming, loving eating and seeing results. But doesn't know the damnedest first thing about like what it takes to be my size, to be an IFBB pro. He didn't even know I was an IFBB pro for like the first 3 months of working with him.
I love that.
He was just like, cool, you're a jack guy on
naive.
TikTok who I get along with. I want you to coach me.
That's so funny.
And asking how many cutting and bulking cycles it took me to get where I am right now.
Yeah. But that's a really good point, because how often do I remind our clients? I feel like it comes up at least once every 6 weeks where I'm like, hey guys, we've been doing this a really long time. And I'll like say something, whatever. I can't think of like an example right now. And I'm like, babe, I didn't start looking like this because I did this for 3 months. Mm-hmm. And people lose perspective because online, all they see is win after win after win after win. And they see this upper echelon of people that, of course, a coach is going to post their genetic anomaly that they're like, 90-day transformation. And you're like, yeah, that's fucking cool. Most people aren't transforming like that. And I was reflecting on this colleague of mine who is another fitness coach that I respect. And she's working with a coach to get ready for her wedding. And she made a post. It's been 1 year since she signed up with her coach, and she's lost 10 pounds. And it's so fucked how skewed my head is, because I'm like, 10 pounds in a year is like nothing. But when you've been doing this for a decade, you're not just going to lose 10 pounds in a month like a general pop lifestyle client who has 90 pounds to lose.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, that's like a really slow rate of change. And then I'm like, is it though?
No.
Because all we see on social media is highlights and highlights and highlights. And I know for my algorithm, at this time, I follow very, 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 very little fitness, because that's just not what my interests are. Just terrible to say. And the fitness I do follow is extremely high level Olympia bodybuilding and bikini. So it's like my perception is not the best.
Very fucking skewed.
So yeah, it's just crazy. There's such a discrepancy in what people understand about the niche sport.
Yeah.
And then obviously
it's because it's a niche sport. It's because it's not popularized to the general masses outside of like what Chris Bumstead's able to do.
Right. And I was thinking about that last night when we were thinking about this topic. I was like, I mean, it's only been in the past like 2 years that even bodybuilding's made its way into mainstream, with like Bum Energy being in public stores and peptides being more accessible, or Ghost has kind of made a name
in Walmart or something,
in like,
right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go buy Ghost cereal in some grocery stores and some random shit. And so like, even First Form, you can buy their protein bars in grocery stores and stuff now. And the isolate is in Walmart. So there's so many, like, I had to say it like that.
It took me, I was like, why did you say it like that? Oh, I know why. It's good. It's good oatmeal. Vanilla oatmeal cookie's good as fuck.
Dude.
I won't argue that.
Every time we're like in a pinch and I'm like, well, we could
Walmart.
just go to Walmart. But yeah, I mean, it's still so niche. And remember, the people you're following only show you what they want you to see. There's so many layers to what goes on. For most people, like, they're not sharing every nitty gritty detail. There are creators that do that, but I would argue most content creators and bodybuilders are not one and the same, where they're sharing all of it.
Yeah.
So that's my rant.
That's your rant. Well, I like that rant. I had a thought and it escaped me for a second. I'm trying.
But I think we should talk about why the glamorization of it becomes an issue.
Oh, because when push comes to shove, you're either going to be able to do the hard work that achieves the result you want to see, or you're just going to lie to yourself, and it's going to be a disappointment for you, your coach, and what you're claiming you want to work for.
Well, and I think it's bigger than that, because, again, I'll speak on the female side and then you'll have to talk for the males, but I think let's go back to the rate of change on that girl, 10 pounds in a year. A bodybuilder loses 10 pounds in 8 weeks,
Less.
5 weeks, 6 weeks.
3
weeks, depending on the weeks. And so there's this insane rate of change and this insane level of progression and this extreme dieting that happens. And girls, there are people that struggle with their weight their entire life. It's a shame. You know, they didn't grow up with good genetics. They didn't get put into sports. They weren't taught good habits and nutrition, whatever the case may be. And they grow up and they've always been, in their mind, I'm not calling them this, like the fat girl, the thick girl, the big girl. We can use Olivia as an example, because Olivia, always being 5'10" and whatever, always wanted to be smaller. So when she got into bodybuilding, even though she was probably better suited for other categories, she was diehard set on being a bikini girl, because bikini was at the time the smallest division.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, you know what? We'll make it work. But because these girls have this self-image and perception that they're the big girl, they want to lose that weight. And they're like, well, what better way to do it than, no, I'm going to get it the fuck off and get it off fast.
And label it bodybuilding.
Right. But there's so much more. And that's why I say people do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Because, sure, are we going to get 50 pounds off you in a prep? Possibly. I mean, it might take 5 diet bulks to get that off and like make it look good. But I think people think that this is like the answer to their body image.
Yeah, I see that.
And then they forget that, okay, so I had to have this talk with a client the other day. I'm like, babe, if you're struggling to get up 5 minutes early to get a fucking vacuum done with an empty stomach, what's going to happen when you have 90 minutes of cardio?
Yeah.
Where are you going to fit that into your day? Like, there's so much that people don't account for. And then, of course, the finances and everything. And they think, like, oh, I'm just going to look pretty on show day. But, like, they forget that there's 20 weeks of prep and a 10-week pre-prep and a 40-week off-season and, like, all of the things to truly look the part.
And better yet, not even the not even just the physical and financial aspects of it, but the mental aspects of what it
Is
takes
the
too.
worst. I mean, for me.
So like, let me make sure I come back to Cammie, but I wanted to speak of the male side of that though, where for guys, I have to say this to so many clients now. I'm like, please do not ever look at me and think you are going to get results like me. Like, it's very unfair that I have to say that, but like, I put on 60 pounds in 10 weeks. I don't really have much fat on me. There is some, but for anyone looking, I still have six-pack abs.
So annoying.
That is extremely unlikely for 99% of people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know how I did that, but still, like,
I
unlikely.
can tell you how.
Highly unlikely for the rest of the
I
population.
can't wait till one day me and Connor like close the business, close the podcast, and are ready to like go off the ether. You're just gonna see like the dark web release a clip, and it's gonna be my tell-all, and that's the last you'll ever hear of us. And that day is coming sooner than you guys think. If I have anything to do with it, it'll be in the next 5 years.
What are you telling all?
Everything.
What is? I don't even know what everything is.
Me and
I'm
you are gonna
scared.
skip off to a. I'm not saying where on the fucking hot mic, and I'm never gonna be found again. But you're gonna know what Connor eats, and you're gonna know his little fucking tendencies, and I can't wait.
That's fine. It'll be in my past anyway. So
There will
it's okay.
be so much more too. I'm gonna do a client tell-all. I'm gonna do a coach's tell-all.
Oh my god, we better change
I'm
our
gonna
names.
fuck the industry. Anyway,
Back to whatever the fuck I was saying.
subscribe so you don't miss it.
Yeah, subscribe. You might catch her in some grippy socks and
God, I hope.
a hug yourself jacket.
Great. I've always loved
Sounds
to be
cozy.
like, I'm like, give me a couple books and a Kindle clicker inside that jacket. We set, baby.
Honestly, yeah, you'd probably be happy as fucking that setup. But back to what I was saying.
You're not a good
You
reference point.
also only see a lot of the male highlights in the same ways on Instagram. Because when you're following a singular individual, yes, you'll probably like watch their story as they gain 20 pounds, go through a show, gain 20 pounds, go through a show. Like the same way I've been following James Hollingshead for the past 9 years, and I could probably tell you his progression from coach to coach and show to show. But if you're just scrolling through Instagram, looking at the Discover page and not really paying attention to who's who, but looking at all of the fucking highlights, and then you walk into the gym at the age of 31 for the first time ever, and you're like, I want to put on muscle, you're not going to see that happen in a quick rate whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're already 16 years behind the person you just looked at on Instagram thinking you want to achieve results like that. And now at the age of 31, you have to take a much less mobile and less capable body than a 20-year-old, teach it how to perform to a degree that is going to even start making changes on a physique. And then, okay, well, now you have to wait until you're 41 to see it be impressive, because that's how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
People are not understanding that it's a decade's worth of progress and process. And it's also a decade's worth of navigating the imperfections as well. Because, like, I say it took me a decade to build this physique. That's a decade with multiple cross-country moves, getting married, building a business, not bodybuilding for a couple of years, bodybuilding for a year, not bodybuilding for a couple of years, not doing it
Working
perfectly.
a corporate job, quitting a corporate job.
Like doing it as imperfectly as anybody else could, but still it took me 10 years to get to this. And then people aren't seeing that or understanding that that's a reality
Right.
for everybody.
But they think that they can compare your chapter 50 to their chapter 1 and be
Yep.
like, well,
Well, I know how to get
Okay.
to chapter 50. I just have to do what Connor does. Yeah,
for a decade.
for a decade plus. And figure
Well, and the
out-
one other thing I wanted to say too, coming back to the female side and like all the layers to getting that, let's call it the skinny physique when you've always wanted that thing, is like, sure, you've accomplished it. Now what? You have to reverse diet, which is arguably harder, and continue to maintain that physique, which I'm not saying cannot be done, but for the person that's always struggled with eating, always struggled, and did the prep for the wrong reasons,
yeah.
you're setting yourself up to fail.
we can literally go back to Olivia as an example.
Yeah.
Where post show, she's like, "Hey coach, what do I do in the gym?" I was like, "Just take the next few days, go get some pump work in, 45, 60-minute lift.
Do the things you really like.
Do the things you really like. I don't give a shit. Just be safe, nothing to failure, yada yada." Connor, I don't like the gym. I need you to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
From somebody who just completed a 20-week prep and took first place in 2 separate novice categories.
Yeah.
In 2 separate shows.
Yep.
That was a response to the gym.
Yep.
So now and mind you, this is a very fucking strong-willed and strong-minded woman. This is not anybody weak by any means.
Not even in the slightest.
No, I'm scared.
Good.
Sitting here right now, 1,000 miles away, I'm scared.
I was gonna say far, far away.
But yeah. Now to the females who do it for the wrong reasons. One is the mental piece that I want to talk about that nobody remembers is a big part of bodybuilding, especially at like 6 weeks out.
Yep.
And then the back end, the reverse, just sticking to it. Maintaining the physique requires the same amount of work as it took to achieve the physique.
Yep.
You're just eating a little bit more food while doing that same work.
And way more mental fortitude, because the minute that show timeline goes out the window and you just have to rely on will and grit
and discipline and healthy habits,
it's a lot fucking harder.
Yep, it is. Now to the mental piece. Look at my client Cammie, dude. She's 5 weeks out. She looks awesome. She's right on track. She's got great size for what she needs to make her first stage appearance. And once a week right now, we're just going back and forth on the mental side of things because it's tough because she's going through a bunch of shit she's never experienced before. Heavy fatigue, lots of output, not eating a lot of food for her, not eating a lot of food for any other female. They'd be happy as hell to be eating this much at 5 weeks out. But having to go through those mental hoops. And she's a strong bitch.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. So for somebody who wants it too. Mm-hmm. Now for the next girl who's doing it for the wrong reasons, or for the guy who's doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Client Josh months ago.
Wrong reasons.
It will spiral out of control at some point because the willpower and the desire and the understanding of what it actually takes just isn't there.
Yeah.
And it can put people in bad health positions too. And that's a whole separate conversation of its own.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I was like reflecting, and I have a friend going through some health stuff, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't do the high stress thing at this time. Like, one of the most impactful things a coach ever said to me was, I can't outcoach your stress.
Yes.
And that's another thing that, like, I think gets forgotten about is, like, if you run high strung, like, I'll use myself as an example. I'm extraordinarily type A. I'm extraordinarily perfectionism, everything. I am a people pleaser to a T. Put me in a sport that's subjective and requires you to cross every T, dot every I. It's both the best and worst outcome possible.
For your brain. Yes.
For your brain.
Yes.
And so when I'm talking to girls and they're like, oh, well, I struggle with past eating disorder. Oh, I have this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, then this isn't the sport for you, because with all the love in my heart, I don't want to watch you suffer. And this is organized eating disorder. And yeah, there's just so many things that I think people like scroll through the show day photos or the gold medal or the thing or the travel or the post-show meal or the whatever the fuck it is that draws them into this. Because I would argue that 7 out of 10 people got here, whether they enjoy it in the long term and they stay for the right reasons, a lot of people got here for the wrong. And that's why you see these videos, like, I hate to say it, but girls are like, I'm going to do a 6-part series on why bodybuilding ruined my life. Yeah. And it's like, babe, bodybuilding didn't ruin your life. This sport isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
And... or like the bite, she doesn't know this now, but this bite is going to send her into a 6-month binge. It's like, I mean, obviously sometimes that sneaks up on somebody that is in perfectly good mental standing and all the things, but like, let's be so for real.
Yeah. You have to understand what you're getting into. And like we said at the beginning of the damn episode, it's an extreme sport. Mm-hmm. It's also a fucking choice.
Stop yelling at me.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby. Even for myself, I'm a pro. I do make a tiny, teensy bit of money because of the career I've built for myself as a professional bodybuilder. Still a fucking hobby. It's not keeping a roof over our head. It's not paying our bills. It's
I know. I love when I meet like a stray in like whatever, and they're like,
a stray.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, you make money doing that?" I'm like, "Oh, you're so cute."
Yeah, it requires
Anyway, do
a
you
lot
want to
of
see
fucking
the
work.
withdrawals from my bank account and where they go every month?
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, guys, this isn't to deter you from bodybuilding truly, because I do think that a critical skill is... Okay, let me retract. I've learned a lot of critical skills from bodybuilding, a fuck ton of self-development. I truly believe at the root of it, every single person should learn to track food
100%.
and learn to follow a meal plan. And both at separate times. Like, I think you should track macros and follow a meal plan for... I don't know what the duration is, but at any given time, you should learn that. Like, this is a side tangent, but like, sure, teach me fucking square roots and equations in English, but like, you have one body to live in, and you're telling me that nutrition is not even something we're gonna learn in school?
Yeah.
I mean, I sent a message to our clients. I'm like, this is for you. If you can't even tell me how many calories in a carbohydrate, this is for you. And like, people didn't even know that, and they work with us.
Yeah.
So I feel strongly about that. I also feel strongly that like the scheduling and learning to manage your time that you get from bodybuilding,
The discipline,
like there's so many pieces, but you can do it without getting on stage. You can hire a coach and be held accountable in the same regard. And lifestyle clients do need that to a degree. I'm not saying that every lifestyle client needs to be treated like a bodybuilder, and we certainly don't treat our lifestyle clients necessarily like bodybuilders. You better than me, you do a really great job of holding them to the same level of accountability. I would say I let things slide a little bit more, but I also feel like my girls, I have some crazy circumstances, like a traveling chef, an attorney that's like literally fucking traveling 5 days a week, like crazy shit. But all that to be said, when I give them tough love and I'm really freaking hard on them and I'm like, you're here for a reason, I'm not going to continue to let this slide, they're like, oh, light bulb, yeah, I need that. So you probably need it too.
Yeah, and the thing is too, no matter what you declare your goal is, you're trying to build your body in a specific direction of your choosing. By definition, you're a bodybuilder. And the reality around it all is you want to achieve the result. We can get lackadaisical on how to maintain that result once you fucking achieved it. But do what's necessary to achieve the result, and you're still just going to be, by definition, a bodybuilder. Doesn't matter if you're a mom, it doesn't matter if you're stepping on stage, doesn't matter if you're an engineer, just doing it because you've competed in the past and keep up with the discipline and like the accountability. My guy Russ looks fucking incredible right now.
Yeah. And I would say one of the best niches that you coach are the people that come to you and are like, I don't want to get on stage, I just want to look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You have so much fun coaching them.
Yeah, because they're a shit ton of fun, because they're not head cases and they just want to have a good time in the gym, eat food, get strong, get jacked. And then sometimes it turns into them being competitors, and then that's fun just the same. But
yeah,
it's because they're in there because they like the gym. They like the progress before calling themselves bodybuilders.
Yeah, and that's huge, especially at this day
I think that needs to be the standard of how people are entered into the bodybuilding atmosphere. Like, it can never be upheld by anything realistically.
No.
But like, by some wild chance you listen to this episode on the other side of the screen, like, if you're thinking about getting into bodybuilding, take one step backwards and think to yourself, do you enjoy walking into the gym on like a 4 to 5 day a week basis and like have fun doing that?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that shit?
Well, and
If the answer is yes, then cool. You could probably continue that conversation with yourself about potentially becoming a bodybuilder one day.
I saw this awesome for me video the other day of this girl saying how she texted her coach and was like, I want to quit. I need a break. I'm burnt out. I don't want to bodybuild anymore. And she was like, I really expected him to push back and be like, no. But he didn't. And he's like, great, for the next 2 weeks, lift when you want, get steps when you want, drink water if you want, eat what you want, check in 2 weeks. And by like day 5, she was like, okay, I'm done. I want to go back to the gym. I want to eat my meal plan.
Yep,
and I
yep.
like was reflecting on that because I go through, and I think my audience at least knows this, a lot of trials and tribulations with my desire to bodybuild. But that video really did something for me because I was like, I feel that way right now to a degree. But I literally know that if I had 48 hours, I'd be like, okay, so I want my ground turkey and my asparagus right now.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't even take 48 hours because, like,
No.
how many times do we go out to dinner and I'm like, to be honest, I really just want air fried zucchini.
Or better yet, how many times in the past 2 years would you spontaneously, randomly, and
Combust.
without warning combust and get a burger that night and then wake up the next morning and say, okay, I want to do my 900 calories of cardio?